Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is my review for The Foster Season 2, Episode 4, Say Something. And this was by far the best episode of the season. I absolutely love this episode. I was really into everything that was going on in this episode. I loved all the storylines. I thought everything was really, really big in this episode. There was a lot that happened in this episode, and I'm really looking forward to the next episode because of the way this episode ended. So, basically, there were quite a few plots in this episode, and I think the first thing we're going to talk about definitely is Callie, because I think that's the most interesting storyline, in my opinion, in this episode, was Callie's storyline, because, it's just a very interesting storyline, in my opinion. Her storyline is definitely probably the best one. So, basically, she is struggling with that. Callie is struggling with that letter that her birth father dropped off for her. And, she didn't want anything to do with him, and, but she didn't want to miss out on meeting her sister. She decided that she needs to. However, I definitely think she did do the right thing. She decided to go to Jude and check in with Jude to make sure Jude was okay. So that way he knew that he was not going to be replaced with someone else, and Jude understood that. He knows that nothing was going to come between him and Callie, and he agreed that, yes, she does need to see her sister. It's the right thing for her to do, and I thought Jude definitely did do the right thing there. Hang on one second, guys. I hate this lighting. Let me fix it. Alright. Oh, that's much better. Okay. So, as I said, he was okay with, with her going to see her sister, and I thought that was definitely the right thing to do. So, it's not like she's going to turn her back on him or something. In the meantime, Jude, by the way, is still struggling with possibly being gay. It's not a good thing, but Callie agreed to meet her sister, and she brought Stef with her as support, because I think that was the right thing to do, She wanted to make sure everything was okay, basically. So, she brought Stef with her, and I think that was the right person to bring. And basically, unlike her sister has actually... So basically, we find out that her parents and her sister are extremely strict, very strict. We find out her sister has never been allowed to get into trouble. She's grown up, she's extremely grown up, and her mother's extremely protective. Her mother doesn't like to be reminded about her husband's ex, nor does she like the way her daughter is so quick to please her new sister. She doesn't like any of this, it seems, and, it was like, wow, this is very surprising, because, you think that, they'd be, like, loving parents or whatever, but it turns out they're really not loving parents. They're really not nice. And, we see that, sure, Callie's father is nice, he is nice, but her mother's like a mess, because she's obviously trying to seek a connection. But Sophia and Callie get off very well. Sophia, another great performance by Bailey Madison, but when they meet each other, they click right away. It seems like everything's good with them. And Callie, is right there with her. And her sister's very sweet. She doesn't want her to hurt her by saying anything wrong. Basically, that's why Stef glossed over... Stef didn't even want Callie to tell them, the real reason why she was, taken into their foster home. But it turns out that Sophia's father is actually having a hard time letting go of the past. He still harbors feelings for, Colleen, Callie's mother. He feels really bad because basically what ended up happening was when he found out that his ex-wife, Colleen, was pregnant with Callie, he was upset with her and he broke up with her. And now he really regrets it because he doesn't like his second wife. He doesn't really like her. And basically, if his family hadn't intervened, then he would have stayed with her. And unfortunately, his wife overheard the last part, so she'll probably and unfortunately, his wife overheard the last part. So, Sophie and Callie are planning on going shopping, and she ends up trying to put a stop to that basically happening. So, that was really sad, honestly. And Callie returned from the trip with her mind made up as well. She knew that she should, and Callie also had this other thing going on with Wyatt in the meantime, and she actually talked to Sophia about it. Now, Wyatt and her were making out. In the middle of it, Wyatt said to her, he loves her. And Callie didn't know what to say because she kind of still does have feelings for Brandon. Now, I understand people still want Brandon and Callie together, but it's not going to happen. We know it's not going to happen because he's not over her, she's not over him, but it's definitely not going to happen for a while, I don't think. And basically, she then realized that she had to let go of Brandon and finally commit herself to Wyatt. And she did tell him that she loved him, which was good. I was happy that she did that. But then at the very end of the episode, there's something off about Jude, because there was a scene earlier in the episode where Jude was in his class, and the teacher was asking him, what to do. And basically, what ended up happening, the teacher was asking him a question, basically, and Jude did not answer it, so we just thought Jude was shy or whatever. It turns out Jude has not spoken to anyone in the last couple of days. Why? We don't know. That's how the episode ended. So I thought that was definitely very interesting, a good way to end the episode, and that plot was definitely very, very big, and I overall really enjoyed that plot. I thought that was a really great plot in my opinion. So, yeah, now, here's my thinking with why Jude is not speaking for, a couple of days. Why he stopped speaking. I think this is because of the fact that... Sorry, my mom just texted me. I think this is because of the fact that everyone at school thinks he is gay, and he is basically not talking so he can avoid bullying from people. I think that's really what's going on here, because, kids can be cruel. Kids can be cruel, and especially kids in middle school. I can definitely agree with that, because I have not been bullied in high school, but I was bullied in middle school, because, things I like, or because, I used to have a super high-pitched voice, things like that. So I can definitely agree with Jude. No, I never had feelings that I was gay, it's not like that, but I can understand that Jude stopped talking to basically not make himself a target, so I do kind of understand that. However, Jude does need to talk to his family, at least, because that is the right thing to do. Now let's go to Lena. Lena's plot was very good in this episode. I enjoyed Lena's plot a lot. So basically, Stef and Lena are cleaning up their garage, and in the middle, Lena accidentally let it slip that she found out that her baby is going to be a girl. So they're going to have a sister soon. And Lena asked if they should keep some of the things to she accidentally let it slip when she said when she comes along. And Mariana hears this right away, and she's very excited, probably because, she's thinking of the bonding she's going to have with her sister. But the baby, unfortunately, won't be exclusively hers, or for that matter, Stef's, because if you remember, the sperm donor, Timothy, has actually talked to his lawyer, and that fact he went looking for one means he just doesn't want to be known as the sperm donor. And that's obviously not a good thing, so we have to try to figure out what's going on there. And in the meantime, Stef is also trying to sign up to be a principal at the school. And Stef pointed out to Lena that Timothy dropped the lawyer right on them before her big interview to be a principal, and sort of like it was his way of saying he has something she wants and they have something he wants. And she thinks everything's going to go well, she doesn't know how it's going to go, basically. But he did come for her during the interview. He brought up her cutting programs, and even asked her how her pregnancy will plan out with a new job. Like, that is borderline wrong. I mean, he basically said to her, oh, well, you can't have this job because how long are you going to be on maternity leave? Like, seriously, that's not the right thing to say. And Lena had some great comebacks there. She said how it's illegal for what he said, but unfortunately she had to realize that it wasn't gonna work out for her, and that's basically what she had to realize. So I felt really bad for Lena in this episode. I wish that it would have worked out for her. I wish she would have gotten that job, but unfortunately, she did not get that job. And Stef did change her mind about Timothy. And actually, Callie's biological father actually helped her by that. She realized that just because they were going to be parents to the baby doesn't mean that Timothy won't have to play a part, won't have a part to play in their family. And Stef is willing to let their baby have an uncle. So I thought that was a good way of doing it because, Timothy will still be involved. Stef and Lena will still be involved. The baby, she will be able to, sort of have a relationship with everybody. She doesn't want she doesn't want her daughter to end up like Callie did. So I definitely think that was really, really great, and really great for her to think of. So let's get to Mariana, or more Mariana and Jesus, because that plot kind of, was both in this episode. Now, right away we see Jesus is kind of, we don't know what's going on with Emma. As we know, Jesus lied to Haley last week. He told her that him and Emma broke up, which is not the truth. They are still together. We see that in this episode. And basically, he is completely ignoring Emma, not even bringing her up, and that's not good. So, Haley, Mariana's friend, really likes Jesus. This is not just a one hookup thing. She doesn't want it to be like that. And, basically, Jesus told her he would call her back, and he never did. So she kind of talks to Mariana and says, hey, can you please talk to Jesus about it? Because, Jesus is Mariana's brother and everything. So, Haley asked and basically, Mariana forced Jesus to call Haley. She says this is not going to be another Lexi situation where he dates her and then breaks her, heart, with Emma. He's not going to keep doing this. And I don't know why Jesus keeps doing this. It seems like he gets tired of his girlfriends. I don't know why he keeps doing this, but it just seems like he keeps getting tired of them as it goes on. Now, meanwhile, after this happens, Mariana finds out some pretty big information about why she, was picked for the dance team. She was kind of wondering why she was picked because there are these two girls who are auditioning. Jenna and, I think her name was Tay or something like that. Tia, that was her name. And basically, at first, Haley told her that it had nothing to do. No, Mariana all this time thought she was picked because she was Latina and because of her ethnicity, and that's why she thought she was picked, because they wanted to have diversity in the group. But Haley told her, she sees Jenna dancing, and she's like, why wasn't she picked over me? And Haley says, because you were just better. So she actually thought that this was true when she, when deciding to choose Tia over Jenna. She basically thought that they had a problem. She thought that, the only reason they were picking Tia was because she was black. And Mariana didn't really want another person to be there just because they were a certain skin color. And it turns out it has nothing to do with that. It just turns out who the better dancer is, and it's just Tia over Jenna. So, Mariana kind of had a little bit of a problem in this episode. However, this kind of changed my opinion of the girls, definitely, because the thing is, the dance seems to be good for Mariana, because she's becoming less, more of a spoiled brat. Like, last season, she was kind of a spoiled brat. Not really, but, like, she can be very, like, selfish at points, and I think this dance is actually good for her. However, we do later find out, because Mariana does talk to Lena about this, and basically, Lena tells her, no, there's no, like, legal thing that you have to have someone who is black on the team. They encourage it, yes, but it's not, like, a legal thing. So I do understand why Lena said that to her. Now, later, though, Haley does tell her because, she says, oh, I was talking to my mom about it. And basically, we later find out that Mariana was placed on the team because Lena wanted to run for principal, and the girls thought it was a good idea to basically push her campaign. And Mariana kind of feels upset because she feels like she's just there because her mom wanted to run for principal. However, Haley does tell her she's a very good and would have been on the team anyway, and Haley's just a very good friend to her. I really like that. I like that Haley's a very good friend to her. She seems to be a very nice girl, and I really like that she's a really great friend to her. That really is great. So yeah, I definitely did enjoy that. So yeah, she almost got in trouble, but honestly, I think it's good. This dance team is good for her. So as far as Haley and Jesus go, now Haley wants Jesus to, Haley really likes Jesus, and Jesus says to her, look, you can have any guy you want. Why specifically me? And she just likes him, and basically she's smart enough to realize the best way to get him is through Mariana. Basically, Mariana arranged for her to come over to the house, and soon, Jesus and Haley started making out. However, Mariana was in a very uncomfortable position, because who knocked on the door? A few seconds later, Emma was at the door. And, Emma was like, is Jesus home? And, Mariana basically had to lie to her and say that Jesus was not home, and basically, that's not a good thing, because it's not a good thing, it's not a good thing, because, basically, because Emma has no idea what's going on, and Jesus is basically betraying his girlfriend, which is not the right thing to do, and Mariana, I'm sure, is eventually going to get sick of this, and she's going to get tired of covering for Jesus all the time. I don't blame her. I don't blame her when she's tired of, getting, covering for Jesus. I don't blame her with that. And basically, there Mariana talks to Lena. It turns out the dance team, and basically that Lena missed out on permanently becoming the principal, and now Mariana has to work harder than ever. But honestly, I think this dance is good for her. But that was basically the episode, and I thought this was a solid episode. I really liked it. I loved all the plots that was going on. We found out a lot in this episode. One, we found out why Callie really couldn't stay with this family, because they're not really right for her. Her dad really regrets not finding Callie sooner, because say he would, Sophia would not be stuck with that stepmother. Now, Sophia seems like to be a very sweet girl. I have no problem with her. I do have a problem with her stepmother, who seems to be extremely uptight, very strict, and not really the type of person that, you would want to live with. You can also see that, Callie's father is very remorseful. He really wishes he could be with Colleen right now, but he's not, unfortunately, so that's not a good thing. That's kind of sad. We also need to know, why is Jude not talking? I think it's pretty much what I said. He's just trying to not make himself a target in school. But he does need to talk to his sister and his parents, because if he doesn't, then he might not think anything. If he's confused, I think he's just confused about his sexuality, and if that's true, then you need to talk to someone about it. Now, I know he did talk to Lena about this already, but he needs to tell them what's going on, because it's the right thing to do. Now, as far as Lena goes, do you think they made the right decision? I think their agreement that they made with Timothy was a great one. I was very happy with that agreement. I thought that was a great agreement in my opinion. Oh my god, how did I forget it? There was something that happened with Brandon in this episode. Don't think there was nothing that happened with him, because there was something big that happened with Brandon in this episode. Brandon and Callie did have this conversation about that song he played for her, because the song he wrote was for her. And we can see that he still does like Callie, and his band member, I don't remember her name, but she talks to him about it and tells him that she can see that the two of them actually have a lot of chemistry, and he says, but he denies and says, no, we're just siblings, and she can kind of see that they do like each other, and basically, she says, you're not actually adopted, so why not go for it? And he's like, I hate it when people say that, we're just siblings, we're just friends, that's it. And basically, she then changed the subject and asked about the music. She says he should play the song that he sang at the, not fundraiser, but the party. And he says, no, that song's not for the band. And she's kind of confused. She's like, then what is it for? He tells her that the song, it's personal. And she says all the songs the band plays are personal. But he tells her no. And she asks if it's for someone special, which we know it is for Callie. And that's basically all that really happened with Brandon. There wasn't too much that was going on with him, but it looks like next week, Callie is going to find out that he slept with Danny, and that's obviously not going to be a good thing. But I absolutely love this episode. Also, Mariana, as far as that goes, I think the dance team is a good thing for her. She is learning more than she, already knew, and I think she's going to have to work harder than ever, so we'll have to see what happens there. But that's been my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for 24 Live Another Day. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.